From raw stand-up sets.
I'm so sick of Pride Month. I live in a small conservative town, and even they put up the gay flag during June. I'm like, you don't have to put up that stupid flag just because you support Lindsey Graham.
It's to Unhinged podcast rants.
Biggest slut shamers of women were other women. They were protecting the market. Women understood that if one of these starts hoeing it up, the rest of us are gonna have to start hoeing it up too, or we're never gonna get any attention. We used to have everything was covered, the wrists, the ankles, and up to here in the neck and the bonnet, and the first woman who hemmed her dress just a little above the ankle was showing it on the streets. That's when we were like, that's it. That's it. Now we all have to have ankle dresses. Now we all got to show our ankles because all the guys in the neighborhood are looking at the girl who's got her ankles out because men are visual creatures, and on some level, they're also retarded. And then some other chick, the on the block goes, ankles? Where did you get a lot of these calves? And now we're in a place women just got nipple covers on and men don't even care anymore.
These are the moments that prove Leonarda Jonie does not care about getting canceled.
And the problem is that you can't call stupid people out now if they're part of a protected class. Like if a white woman is stupid, you call her retarded. But if a black woman is stupid, you call her Your Honor.
She opens with zero hesitation, dropping a brutal hot take on Juneteenth right out of the gate.
If you're not familiar with it, Juneteenth is a huge holiday for black people. It's when they celebrate the last day they ever worked.
Her take on modern relationship roles gets even more controversial, especially once she starts breaking down who's actually benefiting from modern feminism.
Feminism benefits men who now get to sleep with women with no commitment because women are watching these movies and they're watching like, ooh, the Spanish bullfighter who's going to come and woo me. It's like, you're not a princess trapped in a tower who everybody wants. And also, by the way, that only happened when they were maidens. Like, nobody was fighting a dragon for some 37-year-old pussy that's already been had by like the whole village.
That same fearless energy carries into social media culture, where she digs into just how fast online behavior has shifted in the last decade.
This idea that there is no such thing as being anymore that's happened, like it's just, you're just being a modern person. You're just, well, not even, you're just being normal because the culture is saying there's nothing to be ashamed of. Now that's completely gone. You're not even allowed to say that because you're being misogynistic, you're being oppressive, you're backwards, you're a fascist. If you want to be a whore, you'll find a way.
Her writing is chaos on its own, but the front row at her live show is a different kind of danger.
How old's your kid? 9. So pretty soon she'll have her own.
He's Peruvian.
Peruvian? I went to Peru. It's a horrible country. Every other country sucks, dude. You go to every other country and you're like, oh, this is why the Bronx looks like this.
I like the weather.
You like the weather in Peru, so go there, you know? I like the weather. I'm not even faulting them, right? If we were a bunch of people living in the equator and we're like, oh, I just get the fruit from the tree. I'm just gonna lay around, do nothing, never develop my prefrontal cortex.
Step off the stage and onto the podcast mic, and the filter disappears completely.
Some of you don't like it when I get all Christian on you. I don't care. The metaphysical, spiritual reality of the warfare we're in is undeniable. And you're talking to somebody who was pretty much agnostic, almost atheist, kind of, you know, God's like a feeling. He's like a feeling in the universe. And the way that it works is you meditate really hard on how famous and rich you want to become and everybody loves you. And then the universe, God, gives it to you, and then you get more and more, and it's never enough, but what matters is you're better than everybody else. That's where I was going, because I was in New York doing New Age stupidity, where they bring in religions from the East, which are just sex cults for these Indian gurus to bust a bunch of white women under the pretense that they're so spiritually advanced. At least our enemies are fat, gay, and you know what I'm saying?
She gets just as candid about her political shift, and somehow still manages to turn the realization into an absurd joke.
I will tell you this, I actually used to be a liberal, I used to be a feminist, I used to believe all of this stuff. And then I started diving into things, and I had this feeling inside something's not right. And through what I did, my own research and opening up to seeing what the truth was, I pulled myself out of that ideology. I realized how much I had been brainwashed. And since that time, I've made it my mission to speak out against those things. We were all under the illusion that women could do anything.
Policy is fair game, too. She breaks down her take on shifting demographics and what it's doing to community connection.
And again, this has happened through a mass migration push, which actually started after, I think it was the 1964 Hart-Celler Act, which switched the immigration demographics and actually favored immigration from non-Western countries. Why? Because their culture is completely at odds with the Western European culture that actually built America. Despite, the slaves built America, that's not true. They were less than 10% of the population. They were even less than that. But they favored that because what that does is it goes and splinters communities. And then you don't have those bonds between people where you look out for your own. So you imagine you live in a tight-knit community. You've got a widow on your block. You know her. You grew up with her. She needs groceries. I'll go get her groceries. I know who she is. Total anonymity, total breakdown. There's no connection between neighbors.
Right.
Then she gets hyper-specific, using one small Texas town to break down exactly where local budgets go wrong.
Whenever I bring up the fact that our infrastructure is falling apart and it's Israel's fault, everybody goes, oh, you just want to blame the Jews. All right, sit down and let me show you how it goes. Everybody knows about the federal funding we give Israel, yeah? And the country, America as a whole, gives federal funding. Every state in this country gives funding to Israel. Almost every city in every state gives funding to Israel. San Marcos, tiny little city in Texas, was going through its budget because they had a bunch of potholes. Because San Marcos went through their budget and said, wait a second, why are we giving $4.4 million we're a tiny city, to Israel? We have potholes, people can't even drive. So the city, the residents voted, we don't want to give them any money. Guess what old Governor Wheelchair Abbott said? Came rolling through, said, if you do that, you are not going to get any funding from the state or any of your federal funding. So yes, I am sure that Israel is a vassal state and we are just willingly doing it.
And to close it out, her most unhinged rant yet. A flat-out refusal to accept mainstream science on prehistoric history.
But here's why I don't necessarily think the narrative is the way that they say it is. They will find one bone of something and they'll go, this was a stegosaurus. And then they build a whole thing and you go, how'd you know that?
Yeah.
How did you know? In what world? And then they'll be like, its skin color was. You can add whatever you want to your imaginary creature. It doesn't make it real. Here's where I've come, the conclusion that I've come to. Everything is fake and gay. Dinosaurs were fucking each other in the ass. So how did they reproduce? They went extinct because they all became homosexuals. And then they started becoming trans because that wasn't enough.
And God was like, no, wipe the...
And then they wiped themselves out. God didn't have to do anything.
So which clip went the furthest? Drop your take in the comments. Hit like and subscribe for more.